You already added YouTube.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're already live. Let me see.
I'm not live yet. Now I got everything set. So I guess when you hit go, it'll go.
I mean, yeah, it's been going for 12 seconds, so I assume it's on yours as well.
Let's go.
Yeah, let me check. Let me see. Is Omar live as well? Let's see. Videos. Yep. No, it says live, and there's there we are. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Let me look at this article that Josh is sending here. Okay.
That's really mainly
this video.
About the actual apology.
Is it this video?
No. Scroll down.
Is this article?
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of those written videos. I see. Let's see.
It's a written video. It's crazy. Oh, it's one of them things you got to read. Okay.
I read enough. You know what I mean? I don't like. I mean, look, I feel like I've become a bit of a reader at this point. Okay. He took out a full advertisement.
Introduce us. Let's get it popping.
Okay, true.
Got a new soundboard.
Which sound effect was that?
I got a new soundboard because the power plug wasn't working. Like the cable wasn't working on mine, so I had to get a new one.
Oh damn!
But it's so crazy. This is I'm pretty sure everybody has the same setup every single day, right? And I went to go turn it on. Power supply insufficient. Me, the one that worked yesterday, I don't even understand how that's possible. What are you saying to me right now?
So you had to like buy a new soundboard?
I had to drive 40 minutes away to go and buy a new soundboard. Because also, I mean, stuff just isn't readily available for real. So
right.
Yeah, I had to drive 40 minutes to get a new soundboard.
Them shit's expensive.
I'm gonna return it, brother.
It seems like it should be way less expensive. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? As you said, I'll introduce everybody. Welcome everybody to Waving the Red Flag. This is our live stream with the #1 formerly anti-Semitic rapper coverage podcast in the universe. We got Omizi in the building today. We got Josh. Alvin is currently away trying to fight a cease and desist letter from somebody that we can't talk about, but he will be back next week. Thanks for joining the live stream. Thanks for joining the podcast, Omar. There we go. There we go.
Chat on my side. We're glad to be here. We're trying out this new thing where they stream, we all stream for more content.
Yeah, we even cross the stream sometimes.
Okay. All right.
It's good for your health, honestly.
Eddie, put the donation up on the screen, please.
Yeah. Get it.
I did, didn't I? Oh, there we go.
Not a super chat.
Victory speech.
Gotta do it. Okay, so yeah, as of now, before we go into the article, what do we think about Kanye apologizing? This is the second time, by the way. He apologized kind of halfway when Charlemagne interviewed him, like midway through Trump's first election or some shit. Like he's done this before.
Oh no, he's apologized since then, because I think there was the one he was talking. He apologized specifically to the Jewish community, because there was a photo of him like talking to some rabbis and shit, like the dudes with the yarmulkes on it.
Yeah, with the little koof, the little
Jews. They was in full garbs.
Yes, the urban Jews.
Yeah. But this, like, at first when I saw it, because like it was a lot more, it was a very well thought out and fleshed out apology. Some people accuse it of being AI. Someone said, some people was like, oh, he didn't write this, like it's not, that might not be genuine. But I'm like, well, maybe, but if it was actually true to what's in his heart and his sentiments, then, and it actually does explain it, I can kind of forgive that. But I just don't like nor appreciate that this apology is ahead of fucking possible new music. Nigga, fuck your music. Fuck you. If you're gonna apologize, you got a lot of fucking work to do. And I mean, hey, I want you to do better. I want you to be better. For one. again, fuck your music, because your music has been trashed, in my personal opinion, for a long ass time. So I can't even be like, yo, man, fuck them. But the music hit. Like, I can't ride for him like I would a Daniel Caesar. And
Yeah, no, because
one-
you be selective with the. You don't even have music for me to defend, brother. The music is trash too.
music for me to defend my nigga, like at all.
Double
to me,
fuck you.
at all. Nothing is good about you, man. Like nothing, fucking nothing.
Not even talented no more.
Let me ask. I don't want you to jump the gun just yet, Josh. Like, let's say we don't know anything about any of this. None of this exists, right? Eddie texts your phone. Kanye apologized. What's your? Do you have any response? Yeah. Do you have any feeling off the initial?
Fuck that nigga. That's my initial, because I wrote him off like last year or the year before that. Like, it's just fuck Kanye. Fuck him. Like, that was because I'm like, bro, you are too far gone, bro. Like, I don't get, like, at this point, fuck you. Like, your music is not good, and you are just being an awful, shitty person. And I'm a person who's dealt with like mental health stuff, not to the level that he deals with. I'm not bipolar. I've dealt with depression, so I can kind of, I can empathize or sympathize with people, and I try to give people an olive branch. But that motherfucker is a habitual line stepper. Okay, he keep tap dancing and crossing over that line, jump roping on that motherfucker. So at a certain point, it's just like fuck you, and that's it. And your music is not even good. But when I read the apology, it did give me some hope to say, okay,
well, we ain't there yet.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, I bet.
You feel the same way? You scrolling down the TL? Kanye apologized.
Okay. Honestly, same thing. Honestly, like I don't give a fuck, man. Like, he's apologized a ton of times. Apology don't really mean nothing without changed behavior. It's off the front of, and I don't know if you're trying to remove the context, it's off the front of him trying to sell something. So that just degrade, no matter how convincing what he says is.
I'm
the timing means he's got a motivation.
I'm removing it because you don't like when you initially see this, you don't know that he's trying to sell something. All you see is the words like, "Hey, Kanye apologized." Like,
the truth is, I would suspect that he's trying to sell something. But let's say I didn't know that he's trying to sell something. My first question would be, what's he trying to sell? Why is he trying to apologize now? And if the reason is, he's just come out of the other side of this tunnel and realized he's been used, which again, he said this before, I would go, this to me is functionally completely useless. This doesn't mean anything. You can't go through, because he's been on bullshit for 5, 6, 7, a decade low key, if you've been paying attention. So to have a single article that's been out for a day, for that to mean anything, it's like we would have to be having this conversation 6 months from now, a year from now, for me to really, because it's really not an apology. An apology includes changed behavior and accountability and sustained changed behavior. So this is, my first impression is this is meaningless. So kind of to your point, Josh, it's like, this don't mean it is not. It's just nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a question in the chat. I still listen to his old music. He's not like on R. Kelly level, of atrocity. Like, it's just not, he ain't get to that point where I'm just like, oh no, I can't in good faith listen to you from a moral standpoint anymore. It's just,
I listen to plenty of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I listen to plenty of his old stuff. It's just like his new music is ass. Like, and then he'd be on extreme bullshit. I mean, come on, bro.
Some of the songs be kind of crazy though, because I like this song, but I feel weird listening to it. It's the one that goes like, I think about killing myself, and I love me way more than I love you. So I definitely thought about killing you, and I'm like, that's a crazy.
But that's
I love that song though.
I didn't know that's what y'all were considering new music. Because
no, that's like 5 years. That's not super new.
Yeah, even his newer music from then has gotten like even more unhinged. But ultimately,
the newest shit is.
Yeah, I agree with both of y'all. Like, I just want to make it clear. If I'm scrolling on Twitter, or when I was scrolling on Twitter and saw the tweet Kanye apologized, I kept scrolling. Like, it's not something that makes me, oh my God, I gotta see what he says. Let's fire up the Twitter space. Yo, y'all wanna get on a pod? Y'all want to talk about this? None of that. I'm pretty sure everybody had that. Even when we talked backstage to break the fourth wall a little bit, it was a topic. It wasn't the topic.
I didn't even have a link on it. It's non-news to me. Like I said, this it don't mean nothing. Kanye said something. Kanye said the least interesting thing he said in the last year and a half an apology. Who gives a fuck?
So I will say I came off very strong, and I still mean it. Fuck him, because I mean I wrote him off as genuinely fuck Kanye. Still believe that. But when I saw the thing, when I saw the apology, my initial thought was fuck Kanye West. But hey, let me see what he's talking about, because it could be content. And I actually did want to talk about this tonight. So I'm probably like the only one of the three that actually that it might have been like a top thing to talk about.
Okay. I'm glad to hear it.
But and again, like Eddie, like you said, like the real apology is like actual change behavior. But and the one thing I saw like on the Breakfast Club, they just like Kim Kardashian was talking about like her and Kanye West like current co-parenting situation. Apparently that's been going like really well. So in terms of like change behavior, like behind the scenes and him possibly doing some work, I think that's a sign of him doing some work on himself. And that has manifested itself in terms of like them having a better co-parenting situation. Because at one point she wasn't letting him seeing his kids, like the kids at all. Like she was protecting the kids from him. So I will say, like, I think, I will give some credence to that. He hopefully he has been doing some internal work. I want him to do some internal work. I really want this nigga to like really focus on his goddamn spirit. Like actually get involved in the community, get back in touch with the people, like really get down in the trenches, and then make music from that standpoint. Because again, your music is ass. Your music is trash, my nigga. Like it ain't got
It's just not good in your view. So what kind of stuff are you looking at where you're like, Kanye has not, I guess we're talking about the last like couple of years where you're just like, Kanye has not produced anything that matters in hip hop musically. He hasn't made anything listenable, anything good in your view. It's just all garbage. Nothing to redeem him as at least you're contributing artistically in your view.
I mean, like that song that you mentioned, like I've been like his music. I can't remember the last Kanye album that I like. Life of Pablo might have been the last Kanye album that was actually pretty good to me or decent to me. And the one after that, when he first really started, not first really started tripping, but the one after that, I think it had like a blue screen album cover. I forget the name of it.
Oh, that's the gospel album, isn't it?
No. I don't even like gospel music, so that might be a red flag.
I could never.
Is it Ye or Jesus is King? Ye was right after Life of Pablo.
It was the one with FKA Twigs on it. I feel free and nothing hurts anymore.
I put my hand on the stuff.
Oh, that's Ye. That's Ye.
Yes, yeah. I think when he first
that's like, the same album.
Yeah,
that I think I'm talking about.
I'm talking about. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then. Yeah, there was only like one or two songs.
That's a while back. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A long time ago.
I will say to something that somebody said in the chat that I think is very relevant. Kanye has always just been lusting for white power. I think that's pretty accurate. That seems like what he's always been after. So this is just Kanye trying to do some mergers and acquisitions to get back in the graces of the white power structure so he can continue making his millions. That's all.
Well, can we get into the actual apology? Because I do want to see y'all's opinions on some of the stuff that he says as in regards to like mental health and stuff like that. I don't want.
It wasn't FKA Twigs. Apparently, we just made that up.
That was FKA Twigs on that song. That was bro. That was FKA Twigs was definitely on that album. That was her, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
I could be wrong though. I don't want to hang my hat on that.
I don't know.
It's not that important. Well, Josh, in the apology, because you seem to, because I haven't read it yet, and I would like to look through it. What's the stuff that stuck out to you as like, if this was somebody other than Kanye, or if this was just a person you were talking to that made you go like, okay, I could understand how an apology of this nature feels legitimate, feels genuine, like it feels like you engage with the things that he was saying, even if it's fuck him generally.
The
070 Shake.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Gotcha. All right. Thank you. Yeah, I'd be wrong. Appreciate that. No wonder. Yeah, I would never remember that name. That's why I got it confused with FK Twigs. Very kind of, yeah.
Are they a band or it's one woman, or it's like, aren't they a group that's 070 something else?
Shake is they fired though, so I don't know.
Yeah. No, this is a big shout out to them, and thank y'all for correcting me. FK Twigs on ASAP Rocky's. Okay, anyway, um, what it was okay. So with Kanye's apology, can we pull it up, or like you want to pull it?
I got
Yeah.
some excerpts from it
Yeah,
that I can
Yeah,
read.
bring it on.
I know.
Can you put it on screen if
I
you've got it?
I can if you want to.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
more. Why you
You
do
should have
that? There was I guess like at the end, one of the things that was like, okay, get some credence, but like the fact that he said it, I don't expect immediate like an acceptance. Like I know I have to like earn it and I have to work my way back into it. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
So
appreciate it.
just
That's
to read
good.
just to read a couple of these to the Black community, because that's probably the most important and most relevant to us,
Mm.
Oh, hello.
which held me down through all the highs and lows and the darkest times. The Black community is unquestionably the foundation of who I am. I am so sorry to have let you down. I love us. He goes on to say, in early 2025, I fell into a 4-month-long manic episode of psychotic, paranoid, and impulsive behavior that destroyed my life. As the situation became increasingly unsustainable, there were times I didn't want to be here anymore. And this is where the mental health stuff, and I do want to pause after some of the mental health stuff. Having bipolar disorder is a notable state of constant mental illness. When you go into a manic episode, you are ill at that point. When you are not in an episode, you are completely quote unquote normal. And that's when the wreckage from the illness hits the hardest. Hitting rock bottom a few months ago, my wife encouraged me to finally get help. I have found comfort in Reddit forums of all places. Different people speak of being in manic or depressive episodes of a similar nature. I read their stories and realized that I was not alone. It's not just me who ruins their entire life once a year, despite taking meds every day and being told by the so-called best doctors in the world that I'm not bipolar, but merely experiencing symptoms of autism. My words as a leader in my community have global impact and influence. In my mania, I lost complete sight of that. As I find a new baseline and new center through an effective regimen of medication, therapy, exercise, and clean living, I have newfound much needed clarity. I am pouring my energy into positive, meaningful art, music, clothing, design, and other new ideas. Then he goes into the end part. But just that mental health portion, this is like the first time where he's like, at least that I've seen, where he's like, oh yeah, I really was suffering from mental health issues. Like I really had those.
He said that like 7 times. He said that he says this every time. This is not the first time he said that at all. That was what he said the last time when he apologized, when he was talking to Charlemagne 5-6 years back. And people always say,
I will say
sorry,
this might be the first time though. He does mention his car accident as being a potential frontal lobe injury that just got diagnosed properly. He does.
Yeah, look, if the and wait, did he say that in that segment there, or he says that elsewhere?
Not that. That's like how he low-key starts it off. 25 years ago, I was in a car accident that broke my jaw and caused an injury to the right frontal lobe of my brain. At the time, the focus was on the visible damage, the fracture, the swelling, and immediate physical trauma. The deeper injury, the one inside my skull, went unnoticed. Comprehensive scans were not done. Neurological exams were limited, and the possibility of frontal lobe injury was never raised. It wasn't properly diagnosed until 2023.
Okay. And so what's the exact impact of that? And maybe he gets into it later, but I'm just going to talk about where this falls a little bit flat for me, because I've known and dealt with people being in my life who have bipolar disorder. I'm definitely not an expert because it is hard to understand something even in retrospect if you didn't know what it was back then, if that makes sense. But the first thing I think about this is, if you're only in a manic state for 4 months at a time, cool. You do a bunch of wild shit. You say wild shit. You get angry at people. You think that you overextend yourself. You make wild, impulsive purchases. If you're someone who's Kanye, who's creative and powerful and rich, you could, in 4 months, you could put together an entire goddamn Nazi rally. You know what I mean? Because you just have that kind of power and mental organization. So I get it. You could do a lot with that kind of brain in 4 months. But then once you come down from it, I would just expect as soon as you come down from it, you go, hey, by the way, I actually don't believe these things. At the moment, at the time, I felt I did, but these specific bigoted views are views that I do not have. And I said them because of this. It just feels weird for it to be like you have a manic episode that has all of these specific political beliefs, and then you don't address that when you come out of it. Maybe that's an unrealistic expectation, but it just doesn't seem like Mania explains the beliefs and or the lack of trying to correct it after the fact, which I think I'm also counting against him. Like, even if you don't believe it, it doesn't even seem like you give that much of a fuck that you did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mania does not make you a racist.
Hot take.
Not in my understanding.
Hot take. That's a hot
Maybe
take.
it does.
Apparently.
Oh, okay.
Apparently.
It could, maybe.
I mean, you might say, hey, you might say some wild shit. You might say some stuff you regret, but it's just a track record of being so disconnected. And matter of fact, there's a conversation that's going to be needs at some point. I think the way that Pharrell Williams is going, and I love Pharrell, but I think Pharrell Williams is like kind of getting to that point where he's extremely out of touch, or he's getting like really out of touch.
Oh yeah.
And
he's talking about New Black a while back.
Hmm?
Like, it started with his New Black comments like about a decade ago, Pharrell.
Yeah, and then like his most recent comments, likening DEI to just any random nigga getting a job just because of their skin color, like without them being qualified for the job, when it's about equity. The fact that Black people were not allowed to have jobs that were qualified for it, were not allowed to have it because they were Black. It's not you're getting the job because you are Black, nigga. Like, in 10. Pharrell is dope too, nigga, but are you actually listening to what I'm saying?
What the fuck does that have to do?
I love them nigga music. What the fuck are you like? That's the fucking problem. No one said Pharrell was like, bro.
I disagree with your political stance. Pharrell is dope. What do those two things have to do with each other?
Man, fuck you, nigga. Pharrell, dope, nigga. Like, yeah, okay. So when you who was it? Who was it? And I don't even like this nigga like that. But I think Ari Spears said some of you niggas belong on a plantation, bro. Like, you would be happy on that fucking plantation picking cotton. Like,
to me, I don't know. Like, I think to an extent, everybody's dealt with somebody with some sort of mental illness. I think it's just more prevalent. How severe that scale is, I don't want to have a mental illness off with people, because I think that like is a futile effort.
I do.
And
Sorry,
I'm laughing, but I know you're dead serious too. But it does. I feel like it matters in a little bit of context, but I don't want to sit there and invalidate somebody who, didn't go through the same experience that I went through with my schizophrenic uncle. Like, I don't. Because ultimately you're not gonna believe it. You're gonna believe what you want to believe. I just want to say, like, I do agree with y'all that from my experience, I just never have dealt with, this making you some sort of bigot or say these disparaging things about this community, that community, the third community. And then I also think we're so forgiving that it I know he said at the end of his apology, like, wow, I'm not expecting forgiveness and this, that, and the third. But now you have people that are on the internet who don't look like me that are telling me that I need to forgive him because of mental health issues. When one, he's attacking me, my people, invalidating myself, platforming other known races. Because it's funny, if we bring up Kanye's antics during these times, I'm pretty sure all three of our minds go to some different point, but it was all like detrimental. It was all negative. It was all nasty. It was all these other things like that. So somebody that doesn't look like me is telling me these same things. And then somebody who's living with somebody who might have, I don't know, and again, not in the Olympics, but ADHD, talking about, oh yeah, I dealt with people with mental illness. My brother in Christ, it's not the same thing. And I've seen the severest ends of people being strapped down. That does not make you that. And I do not have to forgive him for those types of actions. Just don't force that on me. And don't tell me it's the right step either. Somebody said in the chat, Anthony Fantano said it's the right step. To who? Who said that?
It's not a step. It's barely, it's nothing. I mean, look, it could be worse if he doubled down, if he released an article with the Wall Street Journal and said, as I was saying, and did some more. That's a step in the wrong direction. I think we can agree.
I agree. I mean, because like in terms of a
So
step
at best, this is a neutral step.
I mean, yeah, in terms of a step to take, yeah, I mean, it's a, yeah, at the bare minimum,
It's a side step for sure, at least.
I mean, like, yeah,
It's a shuffle.
I would say like
So it's the lateral move.
I mean, I would give him like I won't say it's like a lateral step, or I would say like it is some progression, maybe not a whole lot, and I wouldn't like give him a long leash to work with, but I do side with Anthony Fantano. Like it is a step in the right direction, but
I'll
change behavior. But yeah, what were we gonna say?
True. Yeah, I'll add that just to really talk about the mental health shit, because I feel like so many conversations around mental health or therapy or any of that shit are just, they lack any kind of detail or nuance about what the fuck we're talking about. Like, why are we throwing autism and bipolar disorder and major depressive disorder in the same shit?
I don't.
For one, and two, it's like your mental illness is largely your responsibility. The people in your community, I think, owe you, giving you grace to figure it out, to work with you. And you go like, okay, cool. My girl, she's got bipolar disorder. So when she's manic, she might dip into our shared bank account and run that shit dry. That's the thing that I need to know about her.
Mm.
Right? That might ruin our fucking lives. On date one, that's a conversation she might have with me. And we go through, okay, what's the best way to deal with that? You're a grown-ass adult woman. We've maybe worked through this and you figured out the ways to have healthy relationships. So I go, okay, she woke up particularly chipper this morning. Let me add a 2-factor authentication onto the shared bank account. Just, you know what I'm saying? So we're working together on that. But she can't just be like, hey, sometimes a bitch is crazy. And you just got to deal with that. You got to take responsibility for the shit that you do, even if you're mentally whatever. Like, that's your job. So if you consistently do it and you're in your mid 40s and you're Kanye and you done this over and over and over and over again, mental health it don't matter. Everybody has some shit going on, some trauma or whatever from their past. You got to handle that. We'll give you grace to do so, but you got to handle that.
What do you think that it is both of y'all?
Sometimes a bitch just to be crazy though. Sorry, what's up?
What is
insane, bro?
some of the comments are insane, and I think
these niggas definitely from your side.
I think they're on my side. That's all I say. Hey, you know what?
Who the hell did you bring over here?
I'm gonna say this. You
Oh my god. Okay, what do we highlight the craziest comment?
No.
You got to do all that.
You put the.
What you mean? I want to see what the fuck people said.
You put the right title and thumbnail in there, you can get the wrong type of people.
Yeah,
I do want to know, because I have this concept about basically these COVID content creators that came up during that 5-year window, going on the 6-year window or whatever. And inevitably when they do go on their their apology, remorseful, tour, talking about, this is what I did wrong, da da da. Even people are grabbing like, oh, you got to do change behavior. What does that even look like when the damage is so irreparable that they can't rectify those things by just like, making positive remarks here and there? Well, what does that look like when some of them might not even be living anymore, and we still have to deal with some of the consequences? I'm talking about the anti-Semites, the xenophobes, the bigots, the racists. I'm also talking about the men's health gurus, the red pill community, the black pill community, the women's side that has that same issue. I'm talking about the people that told all these people to get into corporate, buy my course, all those people. What does rectifying those things with actions even really look like?
Well, I'll start off. There's this book called Man Search for Meaning. I forget the author's name, but basically it just detailed his life growing up as a Jewish person growing up in an internment camp. And one of the guards that used to like torment and like kill Jewish people in those camps, when the author was like a younger boy, and I don't know if that guard, one of those guards, might have actually like killed his sister, but he lost his sister. He lost a lot of his family. But long story short, when he got older, because he spent a long portion of his life in a Jewish internment camp, and when he got older, when he got set free, he saw that same guard in like one of those transitioning places for the Jewish people. And it was so weird because that person from his frame of mind was a devil, was a monster. But when he got to that place, those people were speaking to him as if he was an angel, like he was like God's grace. He was like a completely different person. And from everything that the author saw, it was like, damn, like from his point of view, it was like no one is above redemption. Even the people, even the most people that even the people that do like some of the most heinous things or crimes, like no one is above redemption. So if we're talking about like a Kanye and we're talking about the words he said, like, yeah, it did damage, but how do you combat it? It's like, nigga, the damage is done, but you're not irredeemable. But it's just the fact that are you going to actually do the things to be redeemed? And again, I want to see him actually do things in the community. I want to see him get from around all these yes people. I want to see him actually get back in touch with black people, like real black people, and like actually like become connected again instead of so fucking disconnected, and give back in that vein. Like do charity, like do work that actually fulfills your spirit, not your pocket. That's what I would like to see. And then nigga make music from that point. Then you might make a note, nothing's ever promised tomorrow today again. Because again, the music ain't been hitting my soul since 93, nigga.
Eddie, do you have an idea of what tangible change looks like for somebody who spent the last 5 years being a bigot, anti-Semite, racist, xenophobe?
I mean, yeah, it's make music that's back in touch with black people. I think it's financial, it's money. So that's it's the usual apology tour shit where you're going, all right, I'm going to make this foundation. I'm going to do a scholarship for black folks. I'm going to like political campaigning because Kanye is an incredibly powerful person. I'm not saying that music isn't important, but I think the things that he's done the most damage in my view, are like financial and platform related. So I want to see financial and platform related shit. Help somebody else get in office. I don't know, do some canvassing for Mom Donnie or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like being a Mom Donnie video. It would look like just doing the same shit that he did that made us irritated in the direction of a positive change. You know what I'm saying? Go on a podcast with Mom Donnie, talk about why those things matter, be the voice that people who are interested in what you are saying use that to move in a direction that's useful, because that was what the issue was originally, that you were being a mouthpiece for dumb shit, be a mouthpiece for smart shit, you know? That's it.
I feel like that could be easily seen as performative though. Like anybody could do that.
Yeah,
Anybody
I mean,
but I agree with you. Like I would like to see that, but I really want him to do like work that actually feels his spirit. Giving back.
I think that's a different thing a little bit. If that assuming we're talking about music.
I thought we was talking about Kanye as a person. Like, what do we want? Like, what does an apology look like? What does redemption look like? And then,
okay, so what's work that lights his spirit specifically in your? Maybe I missed that in what you said.
I don't know what would fit, what would fulfill his spirit. I would have to be Kanye West to answer that. I don't know. I would like to see him do actually things that give back to the community, get back in touch with community, with black people, with the same blackness that made him jump off the ledge and say George Bush doesn't care about black people. Like wherever that is for you, Kanye, that's what I would like. You look hella confused. What's going on?
Yeah, I guess I'm just that because I know you're saying you'd have to be Kanye to know what that specifically looks like, but I'm trying to figure out what is different between that and what I said. Like he makes music, so if you're not talking about the format, I'm going like the George Bush moment. That was just a podcast moment. Just podcast didn't exist yet, but the George Bush don't give a fuck about black people. That was a podcast moment. He didn't do shit in that. He just said some shit that was wild in a moment. If we're saying that was inspired by his work, then we're talking about music again. But it seems like you're talking about a different type of behavior or action category.
I'm literally just talking about the person, Kanye the person. And then like I branched off into like Kanye the musician, because before you're a musician, you're still a person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your music comes from internally, like who you are, whatever. So But and I'm not. I didn't like say what I said. I didn't say. I wasn't trying to disagree with you, Eddie. I was just saying like, that can be very performative because anybody can, try to, just jump on a podcast or just like, give $20,000 to a cause and you still be a dickhead. Like you're not doing any actual work on yourself.
Oh, so you want him to internally not be okay? Yeah, yeah. I guess that just feels like a no. That's fair. That's fair. That's just a different. That's you talking about his internal experience. You want to see him get healthy internally, and I'm kind of like that. Don't do nothing for me. But I feel that.
Well, but I think it should though, because that is what influences the actual person. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's one.
Yeah.
And I might be like really, really harsh here.
Yeah, action based. That's where I'm at. I don't
and that's what I'm saying. But with that being said, I think it's impossible. And we're not talking about, a relationship cheating. We're not talking about stealing from a store or something like that. We're talking about, and I don't want to be dramatic here, you crafting an entire generation of young impressionable kids to be Holocaust deniers. Like, and if we go to the relationship side of things, I'm talking about the like red pill relationshipy people. You have truly made a dent and impact on how people view relationships and have stunted that growth in that movement. For the people who sell the courses and tell you to come run my tech course and all that,
like serious material impact. Okay, so Umar, for you, how does he fix that? Because we both answered.
It
just can't be done.
I'm being,
come on.
I know that there's not
it can't be done at all.
That's what I'm saying. I know that there's not a way to tangibly get this number, but if we were on a path of like, all right, this is gonna sound crazy, kids under the age of 23 being anti-Semites, almost touching zero. There might have been one or two out there. I'm being serious. I'm thinking about a curve. I think this is like calculus.
Oh, like we're trying to get there.
Yeah, we're on the path there. So let's say like 2016, 17, 18, 19. We're there. We're dipping.
All-time low of anti-Semitism.
All-time low. We're almost at zero. And then you see a major uptick because of a few influential voices in the mainstream media. This politician, this influencer, this artist, whatever the case may be. I'm not going to lie. How do you then do a complete reversal on this? Because those that you influence are just going to raise others behind them. So like, what is the material? What is the material thing?
No, this is some because when it comes to any political, when it comes to any political like ebb and flow of the Overton window over time, it's like, yeah, shit changes. Because like if you were an anti-Semite and that was your activism, and you were like, damn, man, it's almost no 23-year-olds that hate Jewish people in 2016, 2017. We got to do something about this. People don't know what's up. But then you're going, oh, wait, we got Trump, we got Kanye, we got, Nick Fuentes. The battle might not be over. So I think on the other end of people who got some goddamn sense, the battle is never over. So like saying it just is impossible to do something that we have done in the past. Like if we got it that low in 2016, it can be done again. That's the journey of human political belief across history.
Is he going to do the material thing? I don't. This is what I'm saying. I don't know. In theory, you probably could, because like, how did you get rid of anti-Semitism? It might have been through education. It might have been through policy.
Bingo.
It might have been all these different things. If he can single-handedly make that dent in that reversal,
he didn't single-handedly do it though.
You said what?
The first time. He didn't single-handedly do it by himself the first time. So I think it's just, can he make a dent at all? To me, that's something.
I guess
because there's a pipeline right now of people that would be willing to work with him and who would be willing to talk to him and who would be willing to market and use and capitalize on his influence to have a positive influence in the same way that they were willing to do it, during the Trump, Fuentes, Alex, what's his name? Alex Ross, not Alex Ross. That's the comic book illustrator. Who I'm talking about?
You talking about Aiden or Alex? Aiden Ross or Alex
Jones? Alex Jones. Yeah, just all of them.
The only pushback that I'm having is like, understanding how social media works. And I understand we're talking about massive change would need to happen across the board. Like the negativity that they were pushing sells is not necessarily Kanye's words inherently, although those are like bad. you then platform 30 others around you. So
Okay.
unless you're about to platform 30 other people who are against anti-Semites, the ADL, all these other things like that, and then these things become what goes viral on mainstream media and social
Okay,
media,
wait.
then I don't
Can
know.
can I ask to clarify that? Because the first part, I was like, I'm still just strongly disagreeing with you, where I'm like, why can't he do that? Like, maybe you're saying that he won't do that, which I tend to agree with, because I'm like, I don't give a fuck about his mental state as much as I care about his actions.
Yeah, we know that.
But are you saying that the nature of the thing that he did, which was hate, just in the current landscape, spread so much better that anything that he could do, because it would be positive, it just can't spread in the same way. It's like trying to unkill somebody or unstab somebody. No matter how many knives you got or knives you pull back out of them, you can't unstab somebody. Is that the thinking?
I think that's where it is. Because and I think it would be easier if we took it from the relationship spin of things. Like there's so many content creators who are, black women are this, black men are that, date outside your race, because this, it's so many of that. And it's so easy to platform that, get that so big. However, there are also so many other content creators who are positive relationship, like, oh, black marriage is great, black love is this and the third, love is great, marriage is great, all these other things. They just don't get platformed the same. Algorithms just don't work like that. Like as it's currently set. Yes, it just doesn't work like that. So there's no matter how much quote unquote good he does, there's no way that I can see him outdoing the bad, that just because of the way that things are shaped.
Because of the nature of bad. Okay. Yeah, I now see what you're saying. Because of the nature of bad, it's impossible for him to, you can't uncook a turkey or whatever the phrase is. Like there's nothing that you can do, no matter how cold you make it. It's still a cooked turkey. Okay. Yeah. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I tend to think that it's harder. And I think also because we just spoke at a panel in Atlanta on this kind of stuff. Josh was there. Shout out. It was a fucking great. I watched the whole stream, man. That shit was brilliant. It was great listening to everybody. Shout out to Harriana Hook. Shout out to Think Peace Tribe. Shout out to Cam James. Shout out to Mo Wisdom for organizing the exhibition.
Wait. Y'all came to Atlanta and didn't nobody say nothing?
Josh is based there. I wasn't there, but
okay. I thought collectively. I'm about to say y'all.
Nah, it was Josh was our champion.
Okay,
he was our avatar.
I was representing since I'm the only one that actually lives in Atlanta.
Okay.
And so you should have because you're also
I just wanted to know if y'all checked in and it didn't say, but
you know what? Look,
we got
Josh, you good.
Comparing your passport, like, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You good, Josh.
Bruno.
Everybody else.
Familiar, my nigga.
Yeah,
okay. So Josh has the pass for freedom of movement.
Good
with you.
Yeah.
He's good, but I got to check in when I come in. Okay. Now, next time I'm in town, I'll check in.
Yeah.
Because I do inner cities sneaky. Not gonna lie, I definitely sneak into a city. You won't even know I'm there until I'm left. But in this exhibition, a whole lot of what was being talked about was the way that even creators who are doing interesting things or want to talk about interesting shit or want to, move a conversation, the whole system is kind of built to move you towards talking about hate shit, which has been a problem for ages. So I think if you're going like, hey, we want to make a positive impact, that's a lot harder. That said, though, there's a lot of wholesome content on the internet. I don't know if there's like 10 reasons that you shouldn't hate Jewish people. I don't know if that content exists, but when it comes to friendship shit or healthy relationships or love, there's a lot of that content. It's just not in the, you know what I'm saying, what bullshit did Candace Owens say this week, like news cycle, but it is there.
That's fair. Shouts out to the 300 in the building, man. We doing it big.
Shout out.
And on y'all side, y'all beating me. They say 157 on y'all side, 140 or 154 on my side.
Hey man, we come together.
Shout out,
Omar. That's what we do, my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to the referees. Shout out to the Lilac Brigade. Shout out to the Lavender Bath Bombs.
The Lavender Bath Bombs. Yo, that's what have you just said? That
Lavender in the chat. Lavender in the chat.
Man, shout out to Lavender Bath Bombs, my nigga. Like you just like on some gang shit. We gotta create like a sign for Lavender Bath Bomb gang, nigga.
That's true. Okay, wait. So it's L, and then how you do the? Okay, so it's L, then it's B, Well, I'm gonna fuck around and accidentally do somebody else's.
Oh yeah,
shit
and I know. Yeah, we gonna be in trouble. Let's stop while we're ahead.
Now it's the Los Angeles bat, and I'm like, oh shit! Yeah, I keep my fingers to myself.
Yeah, right.
What's next on the docket, Eddie?
Yeah, are we done with Kanye?
Yeah,
I've been wanting to move on from this, but I'm like, I'm willing to talk about it
Yeah,
for as long as the chat gives a fuck.
Yeah, we spent 40.
Chat, do we still give a fuck about this? Do we have any things that we have not hit yet?
They got the meat, they got the potatoes. It'll come back up. I think in one of these relationship conversations, but it is.
Let me see what the chat's saying. I know you was running the podcast for a second because I know you was bringing the audience, but now that we got a little bit more audience,
what you mean? This y'all audience.
That's what I'm saying. So we'll move to the next topic when I say so. You gotta check in with me and the Lavender.
Do y'all want to?
Bath Brigade.
I know this might not be like our super strong suit because sort of like political stuff. Do y'all want to just quickly touch on like Don Lemon, and Ford?
Let me pull some of these up.
Getting arrested and how we are in a third. Yeah, I'll save that.
Do one of y'all, Omar, do you feel like, tell me if this is just, sausage making, since we're staying live, do you want to put up a new thumbnail with the Don Lemon shit?
Oh, no. You keep going.
What happens if you can explain this later if it's like
theoretically, if you change the thumbnail, I don't want to say YouTube immediately acts like it's a new video, but it's almost like a new video. But unless you like pre-plan it and it's like kind of vastly different, the opportunity cost or the cost is like, it's not always the greatest.
It doesn't make a difference.
Not inherently.
Okay. All right. And you've tried that before in the past.
Yeah. I've seen it swing wild, but it's not, I would say this is like something to do like pre-prep and you could just do it as like a cost, like a safety net or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't say do it all the time. It's a little bit,
because I'm going, who's listening to what or whatever. All right, let me pull up some of these Don Lemon situations.
Yeah, they already here. We got them. They cooked.
I'm trying to get new people. What you mean? They're not already here.
This nigga greedy, bro. He a capitalist. He a capitalist for the content creation for the people.
Hey man, I'm trying to do my job. I don't know what you over there doing.
Trying to get out.
You're trying to talk to two people on his own Instagram stories. Let me see.
Yeah, dang. I hope I don't. We'll see how this goes. Okay, let's.
All right, so done. Let me see.
Renee Nicole Good live streamed himself alongside demonstrators with the Racial Justice Network, storming into the city's church in St. Paul, Minnesota, as they called out resident pastor David Eastwood, whom they accused of moonlighting as the acting field office director for ICE in the North Star State. Lemon spoke with the congregation's lead pastor, Jonathan Cornell, who said the bombardment was shameful.
I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
Harmeet Dillon, the Justice Department's Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, chided Lemon on social media. A house of worship is not a public forum for your protests. It is a space protected from exactly such acts by federal, criminal, and civil laws. Nor does the First Amendment protect your pseudo-journalism of disrupting a prayer service. You are on notice, she wrote. Disgraced ex-CNN anchor Don Lemon.
Okay, that's an interesting way for them to start that one.
I know, right?
And then he's all
clearly biased.
What's up?
No.
The way he started that video out was clearly biased.
Oh yeah. All right, let's see what. Yeah. All right. So yeah, before we look at TMZ or whatever.
Can we look at TMZ?
I'll say again.
Can we look at TMZ?
Why couldn't we look at TMZ?
TMZ like to keep they like to clap shit. Go ahead.
I don't know what the journalistic standard around this sort of thing is, but it seems like the argument is he wasn't participating in the protest. But even if he was, is the protest unlawful? Is it considered? Because there's two factors. Was it right for the protesters to have been arrested? That's the first thing. Two, if or to whatever extent that was true, was Don Lemon participating? And then if he wasn't, is that a legitimate thing for you to be like, yeah, I'm a journalist covering a criminal act, if we're saying that that's what the thing was, but I'm just covering it. I'm not in it. I'm not, throwing nothing. I'm not breaking any doors. I'm just going, I'm interviewing people doing the January 6th, insurrection. I don't know the answer to any of those three questions. Like, I kind of don't know legally what the framework is. I kind of don't know what the convention is journalistically. If you cover a crime as a journalist, is that considered participating, or is I don't? Yeah. What do y'all think?
So basically, this the last comment, if you don't be from befouling,
Yeah.
that's literally my sentiments right there. Like, this is incredibly alarming, and it's like literally rolling back the First Amendment, right? And like, regardless of whatever, like Don Lemon wasn't actively participating in the thing, which is not illegal. He did not actually work to organize the event. It's in the same with Georgia Fort. They were literally reporting, videoing the thing. Like, they were literally doing their jobs as reporters, as the press, freedom of the press. You can't arrest a journalism, and the fact that they are, it's like assigned a warrant for a journalist arrest for doing the job of a journalist is if it has not been clear to anyone now, like it's overtly clear, like we are definitely in a fascist, society now. Like the regime is fascist. Like, that's just what it is. And people and these motherfuckers on the far right, these Trump supporters or these goddamn people who are benefiting, they not even benefit. Like the just regular niggas that still support Trump. Most of them are white. They're not going to give a fuck until it gets to a point where your Second Amendment right starts getting revoked. Just like the dude that got shot and killed last week because he had a gun on his person.
Pretty, yeah.
Alex Pretty, yes. Shout out to him. Oh, not shout out to him. Excuse me. God bless.
You know what
I got a social media. Excuse me.
You always say shout out to
shout out my nigga Alex. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Alex, man. God bless you.
We out here.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna ride
doing
for
his thing.
And Renee Good as well.
Yes, rest in peace.
But the fact of the matter is like some of these right wingers don't give a fuck. Like, at any given turn, they always move the goalposts, because 10 years ago, if anyone else had done this would be completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable.
Okay.
And this is incredibly alarming. This is incredibly dangerous. Nothing about any of this is sane, normal, whatever. And until their Second Amendment right starts to get rolled back, because I think that's going to be like one of the things that is on the docket, because the Second Amendment right, your right to bear arms, is for when the government get out of control so that the people can fight back. And we already saw again what happened to Alex Pretty. He only had a gun on this person. He never drew the gun. I don't give a fuck if he had a gun and he had ammo on him. So the fuck what? Kyle Rittenhouse went to a goddamn protest with an AR, like an automatic rifle. That he wasn't even involved in. Like, he was an anti-protester, but he was there to antagonize. But he was a good boy. He was a proud boy. But this brother can't protect another citizen while not having his weapon drawn and be shot up, and he get the clip unloaded on him because he had a gun. So
that he did not draw.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to highlight a question, because I was just asking questions. I'm not necessarily even trying to play devil's advocate shit. I'm just trying to understand what the framework is before going to the full thing, because I agree with everything that you said. Is anything about the protest traditionally considered to be a crime in any sense? Like, I agree on paper that, like, the visual of arresting, because it wasn't just Don Lemon, it was him and 3 other journalists. He's just the most high profile one that we, name recognition. But the arresting of journalists for the coverage of state violence against peaceful protesters, straight dictator, straight fascism shit. My one question is there an additional crime here, which is the arresting of protesters at all? Like, it's not like, if Don Lemon wasn't a journalist and he was in the protest, would that have been a crime in itself as well?
That's what's being said. And somebody in the chat said it. The act of protesting in a place of worship is illegal, which I think is fine to say. Like, I'm not even like stuttering on it. Like, that's the law. That they wrote it. We live in it here. But if he's covering it, how do you make that distinction? If I'm in the place of worshiping, the protesters come in, and then somebody whips out their phone to kind of give some sort of coverage on that, am I subjected to be arrested at that point?
Yeah, I feel like if you're outside, maybe I hope I'm not Uncan here, but I feel like that just, I don't know if this is exactly the hill for this one. Like, if you're outside covering it, cool, totally agree. If you're inside the Capitol during the insurrection covering it, but you don't have your own picket sign, would we have been saying this? I don't think so, but maybe I'm tripping. But I hope y'all see what I'm asking. Like,
Yeah. And
if it is illegal to protest inside a church and he was inside a church during a protest, is that not kind of in line with what the law is?
If he's not
Regardless of the
part of
fact
the
that we are in fascist shit, that is also true.
But if he's not a part of the argument is if he is or is not a part of the protest, and these are just people covering these things out.
they
Okay, so then that's that second point that I brought up because
Yeah.
I broke it into 3 parts. Is the protest illegal? Was he protesting? Can you arrest a journalist and distinguish them? That second part is if you're protesting in a building and you're covering it, does that constitute trespass? Like, what is the law there? Are you allowed to trespass in covering of a protest? Then that's a question.
Yes, that's the press. I think that's the press's job.
Okay.
Like, because I mean,
Okay,
if you
cool.
well, because you can be, I mean, the press can go into a literal war zone. Like you're generally in the like in terms of like more morality. Like I think there's a code like in a war zone. Like you just don't kill the press. Like that's
The
not your first.
journalists, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Of course, they've taken like them hostages in times, but generally speaking, the press
You're
is
not
there.
supposed to do that.
Hmm?
You're not supposed to do that. That's
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
It's frowned upon.
But I think in terms of covering an event that's happening, that's in line with the press's job. Like this is
Okay.
what's going on. Like just the same thing with the insurrection. But those are fucking patriots and heroes now. Like the history is being rewritten. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
no,
1,500
thank you
pardons.
for the chat as well, because like, yeah, it is definitely clearly it's actually illegal to what they did was illegal in terms of protesting during an active service. Can't do that. So that's not protected by the First Amendment, but they spun it to make it to where like Don Lemon or like the other journalists there were actually
A
part
part
of
of
the
it.
people that plotted it,
Participating.
planned it,
Okay. Okay.
participated,
Gotcha.
planned it.
I'm with you. So this, yeah, okay. So then I'm fully with you now. Thank you for clarifying that. I apologize for having not done enough research, but I'm hoping that maybe clarified it for somebody who's stupid in the chat like me. With that in mind, yeah,
Great
that's
question.
just straight suppression of the press. Like that's exactly what you said. That's getting in the way of the thing that is like at a Geneva Convention level, the norm for how you treat press. And instead we're going to suppress this press because they're covering things in a way that we find politically unacceptable. That's straight up suppression of the press, which is what old boy from TMZ basically said as well. And I now understand the context.
Yeah, I don't on some of these.
Hey, if he was agreeing with me, I'm probably calling you stupid. Shout out Mansa Musa.
What's it called? For some of these like political topics in these climates, I know people like seek the word of us from it. To me, like the answer be clear, especially with the side of the internet that we exist on. Like, I don't think anybody thinks that we're right leaning, but if you waiting the red flags answer, if you waiting for Omizi's answer, it's probably that it's wrong what's going on, and we live in this type of government, fill in the blank, and we tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to be that blunt about it, and maybe it's a downplay of the situation, but it's nasty. It's nasty across the board.
Why would that be a downplay? Because that doesn't sound controversial what you just said to me, but maybe I'm not fully.
Hey man, it'd be a hot take. I feel like sometimes people want us to have these like super in-depth deep dives, and maybe that's for like I don't think any of us like align with that side of
They
the
want
internet,
video
I think.
essays type content from
Yeah.
like we're not video essayists.
And we're not,
Hmm.
but we I don't think it's
That's what you meant.
secret. Yeah, I don't think it's a secret as to who we are and which side we might believe in politically. And I don't want to give you a word salad to say like this shit wrong.
Fucked
I don't
up.
want to. Yeah.
And honestly, niggas is not mad enough.
It is dangerous shit. Like, I mean, and I've been saying like this shit is gonna get so much worse. And I don't know. I think Don is now back free. I don't know if he's been indicted, charged. If he's gonna. No, I think he is gonna have a day in court. So I think he's been released on bail or something like that because he did a press conference, but he's been charged. So he's gonna have to defend himself off this. This is dangerous. Like, what do you call it? McCarthy type shit. Like trying niggas for being so-called communist kind of stuff. So it's gonna get a whole lot worse over the next 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Feb 9th. Okay.
I literally can't express my truest of thoughts on the internet in regards to this, because I would definitely get in trouble, and I would get all of us in trouble. It might be illegal to say what I really like feel.
Man, because you always have like I love the Josh segment of the podcast where he does the like, hey, y'all be safe, because if I express what was on my mind, it'd be a fucking problem for you. I love that section of the podcast. I like that, because you get real serious and you're like, hey, woo, hey,
I can't do it.
You glad we got to worry about monetization? You glad we got to worry about
our lives?
Our lives. Yeah, I don't want to get that knock on the door.
Yeah, Big Brother's watching.
At all times. Yeah,
stay strapped.
We know what you're thinking,
brothers and sisters.
Exactly.
Organize.
Our numbers grow daily. All right. I think that is there anything else on this Don Lemon thing? We actually, matter of fact, I will show this one thing, which is what he was like. It's just footage of him during the thing, and people are arguing that this is participation. And in my view, I'm like, no, I agree. He was not participating. Sorry, Josh, did I cut you off when you were about to say something?
Oh, I thought you was wrapping it up, and I was just saying shout out to Georgia Ford, because she was also one of the journalists that was arrested. They came to her door. They came to her, like they actually came to her spot.
Sorry, what was her name?
Georgia Ford. I got a video on it, but I just wanted to shout that out. Black woman.
Yes, no, shout out indeed. Oh yeah, Georgia Ford. Oh, independent journalist. Yes, okay, cool. True. All right, so this is Don. This is just him at the thing driving up.
It's okay, I got it. Just hit the park. Twitch, we're back. Sunday morning church. Yeah, okay, we'll see. After we do this operation, you'll see it live. And these operations are surprise operations. Again, can't tell you where they're going. Okay, so I am going inside now. Where's my phone? I need my phone. Hey, Meta record. So activists are now in the church. Is what the First Amendment is about the freedom to protest. I'm sure people here don't like it, but protests are not comfortable. And there are people here I'm looking at a young man who's in the corner. He's frightened. He's scared. He's crying. People are leaving church. One of the members who looks to be really upset, a young person, the pastor's trying to calm him down over there. Perhaps they should come in, pray together, and talk together. But anyways, if I were the pastor, I would offer a prayer. I would try to calm things down and say, listen, talk to you. We're all citizens. We're all believers and Christians. It may look like MAGA coded, but there's a reason they have so many white people here. I'm just going to be honest. It's because of the operation that they're doing today. It's important to have allies, as I said, white allies here. So that is like I said, I turned the camera off of them because they're giving some critical information here. But there we go. Everybody's ready to go.
I think that pretty much covers the idea.
Yeah,
I heard a soundboard opinion expressed.
I just thought it was funny. It was like, it may seem white MAGA coded. There's a lot of white folks here. That's funny.
I wouldn't.
It was a wild and hilarious aside for him to make.
That's not participation, but we knew that. We knew it already, so it's like,
yeah. All right, let's get into the next thing. Okay, and yeah, chat. Feel free to let us know if there's any shit that we haven't covered yet. So we got this Jewish white lady who they bullied her out of playing a Mexican. We got all of the kind of red pill leaning loneliness shit. So Stephen Bartlett, Loud About Nothing talks about this relationship recession that like everybody, way fewer people are in romantic relationships than in the past.
Let's talk about that.
And the dating racial stats.
Relationship recession. I actually am interested in that.
We interested in that? All right, let me see. All right.
Let me ask. This is a quick side question. If you have a twin brother and the twin brother is taller than you and weighs more than you, like because just like a muscular perspective.
Okay.
But you're
No, we understand.
technically
He's more attractive than me. Yeah.
yeah, technically though he's the older twin, or you're the older twin. Does
Mhm.
that mean because his measurables are bigger than you that you have to concede to him?
In what
What
way?
the fuck what kind of pop the balloon question is this? What do you mean by concede to him?
Like, okay,
What
What the fuck are you talking about?
the big piece of chicken at dinner? Who gets to sit in the front seat?
This what is this? Who does your mama or your girlfriend sit in the front seat? Ass question is this?
Yeah, but it's with your twin brother, and we know what time it is. We know who gets the big piece of chicken with the brother. Come on now, let's.
That's not how that works. Like that's not how it has ever worked in no household or friendship I've ever been in. Yeah, Alvin don't eat first in our trio. Like that's
Right.
we don't measure status based on size.
You get this plate first. We gonna wait until you start eating for us to start eating like that.
Yeah, what are we, hyenas and lions? We're not pack
Okay.
animals. We don't do that over here.
I'm gonna make sure Alpha is full. Okay, let's keep going.
I'm sorry to shit on your question, but I'm like, I guess I just don't think of the world like that. Now, if you wanted to say, is it likely that people would, if I was asking that question, if we're going, is it likely that people would treat me like as the little brother, or that he would son me? I would say yes, but that's a negative thing. And I would say if we're in a loving, brotherhood, that him being taller than me or more conventionally attracted to me is a thing that neither of us would participate and double down on. Not to be the too woke friend, but yeah, I just disagree with the premise.
Yeah. I have an older brother who is kind of like a long lost brother. Don't know, I haven't, it's on my dad's side now. Dad is my biological father's been largely absent. He's got another son. So he has two sons, me and my half brother, but my half brother and my dad is like really tall. Like I'm 6'2", but my dad is like 6'4". My half brother is also like 6'3", 6'4". So he's taller than me. And he got my dad's like shape. Like we both have our dad's size, but like he actually like got the muscles.
He's built.
He's built.
Shout out.
And like he's like dark. He's like a little bit more dark skinned than me. But we had like we look alike. But he's like a little bit more dark. He's more dark skinned. Got a similar like facial structure. And I'm like, dirty motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a little jealous. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
So you got the height.
But if y'all go out to the club though, like, do you think that there's a difference in, like Eddie was saying, like how people perceive y'all
or treat you?
Yeah, treat you.
They're treat me. I mean, hell. I mean, I'll probably still get some looks, but in terms of if me and him standing next to each other, we would both be getting looks, but they might go up to him more. But it's just based on like kind of like maybe like what they like to. But again,
but he ain't famous.
Most women, if you're in a club setting, they kind of like the taller, muscular, dark-skinned, handsome guy. So I don't think I would get through like shit and just get mushed like all the time. You know what I mean? But
the big piece of chicken, I get it.
That's not the big piece of chicken. Josh can eat whenever he likes. What are you talking about? What are we doing?
Go ahead.
The fuck? But yeah, you're not like, yeah, these dynamics exist because they exist with women too. It's like if you have your homegirl and she's more attractive than you notice the way men move differently around you or the way women move differently around you, and there's bullying, all that kind of stuff. But that's outside negative bullshit,
No, now I promise you I didn't want this to take long. This was supposed to be a little funny aside. In my experience on the women's end,
you have this situation though. You tell us about your specific situation, because you brought this. Now you brought this up, and this is your situation.
I promise you, it was truly like a basketball thing. There's two twin brothers that go to like Duke University.
Okay,
and they're actually nepo babies, not a bad, but they're sons of like a former NBA player. And people, oh yeah, when they both get into the league, one is dramatically bigger and better and seen as greater. The other one is just like so it's like
yeah, you'll get treated differently for sure. All right, let's take a look at this.
We think it's time to declare a new kind of recession, a relationship recession. We crunched the numbers and there are at least 100 million more single people today than if coupling rates had stayed the same as they were in 2017. And in America, 50% of men and 41% of women aged 25 to 35 are not living with a partner, a share that's doubled in the past 50 years. This rise in singlehood isn't a straightforwardly bad thing. There's less social pressure for women to get married, they can now earn more than they used to, and divorce is easier than in the past. All this means is that they no longer have to settle for an unhappy union, and that is a huge liberation. Today, many people, especially women, are happy to remain single, but surveys also suggest that most singles would rather be in a relationship. So why are these singles not mingling? One reason is that society has changed in ways that make large numbers of heterosexual men and women less compatible. As opportunities in work and education have improved for women, they no longer need a male partner to support them. Many men are struggling to adapt. In the OECD, a club of mostly rich countries, 51% of women aged 25 to 34 had a university degree in 2019, compared with just 39% of men. You might expect that this will create couples where the woman was better educated, but women still seem to have a preference for men with higher earning potential. One study in Germany found that educated women over 30 were more likely to stay single than partner with a less educated man, so men without college degrees struggle to attract partners. This new reality is making some men angry. Take South Korea, for example. A survey suggests that around half of young Korean men think they're discriminated against, and some 60% complain that feminism demeans them. Meanwhile, many young Asian women avoid marriage because they're expected to shoulder childcare and housework alone. They worry that the opportunity cost of marriage is too high, that it will harm their careers without making them happy. Another problem concerns dating apps. You might think they would make it easier to find a match, but they could be making people much pickier. Reporting in the Wall Street Journal suggests that most women on Bumble screen out all men who are less than 6 feet tall, which is about 85% of them. Some people are even turning to technology to find partners who will never reject them. A striking 7% of young singles say they would consider a robo-romance with an AI companion. As these love bots get more sophisticated, they could aggravate the decline of human relationships. Many people worry that a world with fewer couples and children will be sadder and more atomized. Yet some of these problems may be self-correcting. How men and women relate to each other has changed enormously in the past, and could do so again. Here at The Economist, we think it's time to declare a
Okay. I've got one other video that I think contextualizes some of this or adds an extra level of context to this, or it's just a tweet or whatever. But y'all get into it first while I'm looking for that.
That was a lot. What you think?
First of all, man, they're gonna find somebody to say they want to get into a relationship with AI. Who do they find for that? 7% of people. Y'all
7%. That's damn near 1 out of 11.
They only interviewed 10 people.
Hold on. They only interviewed 10 people. That was the end. The sample size. That's fucked up.
And the 10 people were robotic freaks. They were in Discord. I don't know.
Damn. Wait, how do you get 7% if you only interviewed 10 people? That's like that's
I don't know.
7/10 of a person.
I'm throwing shit. I'll say this.
Oh, you just made that up. Okay.
I'll say this. I don't know if I think this is like the dating conversation is always so multifaceted, and every day you just pick the new thing as you like age and mature as to like the reason but why this happens, that happens, the third happens. But some of this stuff is gonna tie the knot with the Kanye conversation.
Okay,
Like,
interesting.
some of these influencers, it's kind of what I was saying about how you like atone for your sins in these places and spaces. These new data points exist because of a heavy influence on like social media commentary on dating. Full stop. It just does. Even that whole like, oh, well, women are more afraid to be married because or tied down because that it'll take them away from their career and they won't be able to find happiness. Or men think that feminism is destroying their outlooks. Those are chronically online talking points. Full stop, right? And so when you ask some of these relationship gurus, I don't know how your audience feels when people bring up like Kevin Samuels, but when y'all ask these relationship gurus,
Large hatred, which yeah.
Cool. In 10 years, like, and he's dead, so you can't ask him. But when you ask him in 10 years, like, man, we're at only 30% of people being in relationships, 20% of people being in relationships, and you sought out to do work that was supposed to make that a greater number, and it didn't. It had a negative impact. How are you going to atone for those sins? They have no answer. They're not going to have any answer. There's not going to be any tangible things that can be done. It's just going to be like, oh, well, shit, it is what it is. I believe all the stuff that they're saying is a little bit true. I think we make it harder because we're in our mind. But the romantic recession that we're in is largely based on social media commentary. Even the concept of like an AI companion, that's social media commentary. Those are buzzwords.
Nah, hold on. This is where I want to disagree a bit because take out the AI bit. Sure, fair. I don't know that that's a big conversation yet. I think it might be at some point. But for right now, I don't know if it's an issue.
Yeah.
But that first stat that they gave to me relatively compelling. It was something like, let me see what it was. I'll see exactly. Okay, 100 million more single people today than there were 7 years ago. That to me is not insignificant. if the economist has crunched those numbers, I think that's a worthwhile thing to look at. And I feel like sometimes we don't want to have conversations about like large social patterns. And it's okay to just go, yeah, the fewer people are in relationships than they would like to be, and we can start talking about the why. And there's a lot of I do agree with the thing that you said at the top of your take, which is I think there's a lot of different factors, and people tend to pick their like one or two factors that kind of align with their political, like, oh, I'm red pill, or I'm whatever, and that's their one thing. But it's actually multiple different things. I think the college education gap is probably a factor. I think women's independence in general, prefacing this, is a good thing, which means that men have to compete on likability. They can no longer compete for partners through financial dependence, the way that our mothers and their mothers partners had to. You know what I'm saying? Like in the past, it was, what do we say? 1974 was the first time women could start even getting bank accounts without their husband. So now you don't need a husband to exist financially. I think that's one factor for sure. I think the online dating shit is a factor. I think the pandemic is a factor. Yeah. And I think also maybe to some extent a factor is, I don't know how big I would say this one is, I think that while many men have not risen to figure out how to be attractive to women, I also think that some amount of women are holding on to a patriarchal idea of what men are going to bring to the table, and that's never going to come back.
That's your take.
So I think both of those things are true.
You was cooking on that second one for sure.
I think they kind of go together a little bit, but I think that's a factor. I don't know how large of a factor, but it's definitely a factor.
Yeah. I mean, we just talking shit. Who knows the percentages on this? I definitely
I was just going to say, I feel like as we grow, I think to some extent, I'm not saying in this particular conversation, but I think I would like to be able to go, no, this is where we need to focus. Like, because I think that we have some potential ability to actually not just be commentators and make impact on this. We're doing because we're doing the friendship event on the 13th. Like, we're trying to kind of engage, we got the conversation cards. We're trying to do something about it. So I'm kind of like, I would like to maybe even have some experts on here to talk about this shit, to like go, here's what's actually happening. You know what I'm saying?
What's a dating expert? What's like what is a dating / relationship expert? What is that?
I'll get into it, but I'll let Josh go because I think he had a point he was about to make.
I guess I was just gonna like bring up, like from my point of view, some of the things that are causing this decline in relationships. The economy. It can be very expensive to be in a relationship, especially, and it can be very expensive to date, especially like if you are a guy, because patriarchal values and views, and no one's saying that women are responsible for this, but you know what I'm saying, like, but it's just like the ultimate system that men have fucked themselves over with. The economy is fucked. Like, it can be extremely expensive just to date. Two, a lot of people, and Omar, you said like a lot of these like takes are kind of like chronically online. A lot of motherfuckers are chronically online. Like, that's the problem. And that's probably what you were saying as well. But a lot of people are indeed chronically online, and this becomes so loud to the point where he actually has penetrated into like real life, because a lot of the same guys, or like just the guys that want to at least try to do better, at least, being better than what was presented to them and what they learned growing up, even though they might still have like toxic traits, don't approach women, because we've heard time and time again. Eddie even made an argument a long time ago on the podcast that men should not approach women damn near under no circumstances, which I strongly disagreed with and got my back kicked in by a certain community of women. Of course, a lot of women, and all women don't agree with that, but it's just that sentiment has grown, has definitely multiplied within, like, I think a lot of guys, and it's a lot more difficult to approach women, because for one, most of the time, you don't want to be looked at as a creep. You don't want to be accused of like, harassing or assaulting anyone, and just like kind of respecting people's space. And then women, of course, a lot of women don't really shoot their shot. They just like, I looked at him, and it's like, okay, all right, like, a lot of people look at me, goddamn, like niggas look at me like, I mean, I ain't about to go, yo, what's good, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Oh, this nigga wanna fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, you know what I'm saying? So like that's a big thing into it, as well as and men again, I've said this many times again. This got this take from Carlos Miller. Men have fucked up the ecosystem. I will hang my hat on that any day. And now that has led to the behavior of the women now, because they become a bit more toxic and they're playing the game. Like they're just playing the game in the ecosystem, in my opinion. So, but it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because you kind of like, for a lot of guys, like, it's like I don't want to deal with that. And I'm not saying, I'm speaking from like a person, I'm speaking for myself specifically on this part, but I do see this going on in the ecosystem. And I'm like, that's nasty work. I wouldn't want to be a part of that, because I wouldn't do that to somebody else. But I understand like how you got to this point. Yeah. What were you gonna say, bro? Because I started kind of like rambling.
I just said do which part. I was just asking a.
Like, you know, because like lying, cheating, being emotionally unavailable, like manipulative, and like the kind of just basically what men have been doing to women for decades, that have fucked up the overall ecosystem to the point where it's like, if you got to survive, you kind of got to start playing the game. And women technically do hold the power. Like if they all got on one accord and said, we want this, if niggas want to get poom poom, if they want to get relationships, they have to do this, niggas would assimilate. They would make changes.
Yeah. True. 100. Yeah, absolutely. Can we pull back a little bit on this conversation and just have it from just for a moment? Because I understand we, like everybody, we got grievances, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just wondering, starting point. Women are opting out of relationships much more so than men. Niggas are like, oh, please give me some pussy. And women are like, dick is not an improvement to my life right now. I'm educated. I'm financially independent. I do not need you. I'm not dependent on you. So I don't have to be in the unhappy relationships of my mother and her mother. And I'm good. And I've got, and women are way ahead of us when it comes to building community. You know what I mean? The when it comes to the supper clubs, when it comes to the dinner parties and just creating sisterhoods, they're way ahead of us on that. So they've got platonic social community. So with that in mind, and that wasn't to rag on guys, but just with that in mind, we know that women would prefer largely to be in, heterosexual women would prefer to be in relationships. I think everybody wants love, everybody wants sex, everybody wants to have somebody that's their person, but they're quite happy to go, but I'm all right that it's not. I think men are more mad about this than women. Women are like, it kind of sucks. Where's my husband? But, I can't find her. So whatever, I'm good. This is my question just to the chat. And I guess y'all can theorize on what women think, but do y'all want these niggas? I think that's the first question. Because if the answer is kind of like yes, then we start talking about, okay, what does that look like? Who's approaching? What are the formats? Because if dating apps don't work, is it social events? Or do we approach at bars? Are we having book clubs and single nights? And is that, just in terms of going a direction of getting everybody what they want? Or is it like, no, these niggas are like, I know men, I meet men. The men that I want who are not misogynistic or not dickheaded aren't available, and that's the issue. And so the solution comes on the side of not the approach or the meeting or any of that. It's on correcting of male behavior in the ecosystem. It's probably a bit of column A, column B, but what do women folk think?
I mean, of course, us women folk can't answer that question. No, us men folk can't answer that question. I do think part of it is though, like, because I'm even looking at it from the lens of the younger people that I have in my life. Although it's something that people say that they want, romantic partnership is like the last thing on the rung of any real conversation. So it's always about how to get your job, how to get your education, how to get your side hustle. You need to be working out. You need to be reading. You need to be getting closer to God. You need to be cooking. You need to be doing all these other things. And then people are, which is, I think, different than years past, talking about like real romantic relationships. And so it's come into this mystical, theoretical world. We've had so much time of it not like truly existing in our faces and spaces and all these different things. And you've gotten so wrapped up in all these other things that now you kind of turn around and say, oh man, I really haven't had a boyfriend, or I really haven't had a girlfriend, or I really haven't had a partner, or whatever the case may be, after you've done or at least attempted to do all these other things. I know, I wonder, in that survey that they had, or in this whole conversation about romantic recession, how many people are trying? Like, how many people are actually trying to have some sort of romantic companionship? I think that number would be low. And then also, how
Yeah.
would you quantify that? But I would want to know how many of y'all are actively like dating on a night to night basis, intentionally, not swiping on Tinder, not oh, I went and posted up at the bar, but I'm talking about actively approaching men, actively approaching women, actively trying to put yourself in dating conversations to get into a relationship.
I also one thing that comes to mind when I hear that is I feel like we're stuck playing a rigged game, and so we're arguing about like whether or not we're playing instead of arguing about the rules. And I feel like the way that we meet is a little bit broken, and the way that we try and the way that we expect people to try is incredibly individualistic, which then I think contextualizes your first question, which, yeah, I agree. People probably aren't trying as much as they have in the past because they've just opted out. But I think we have to ask the why. So it's not just, oh, people aren't dating because they're not trying, get your game up, try harder. It's like people stop trying for a reason. And we have to address that. Like people gave up, men and women both, for I think quite different reasons. But if people have given up, we have to go, well, what's broken in the ecosystem that women are like, I don't want to try, and therefore don't have a relationship that maybe I would want, but it's not worth the pain or the effort of this. Or guys going, yeah, I want a relationship, but I don't want to try. There's a specific reason there. It's not just a lack of, it's not just, 100 million people lacking motivation all of a sudden. Something is demotivating people.
Yeah, and that same reason why that same hypothetical reason that you said for women, for them like just giving up and not trying, is the same. I think it's very like the same for men as well. Because it's a lot of because relationships are not easy. First of all, like especially when it comes to like a lot of people's like views towards marriage, and then we like living in a Western world, like we live in America, and we are cis het men, so of course we're having this conversation from this point of view, because this is our experience. So please bear with us. I'm sorry if we're not speaking it from like a non-binary point of view. Like we're not non-binary. We don't have anyone here for that. But
to hear it tell it, the queer folks are doing much better than us. We are struggling as a parent. Yeah,
and I believe it, but they still got their problems. Like them niggas is nowhere near perfect, but they got a leg or two up for sure.
They also classify things differently, but I don't want to get into that conversation.
Yeah, maybe for another night. But I think, relationships are difficult, and people aren't healed enough. It's a lot of broken people outside right now. It's a lot of broken people that want to get into a relationship, and it's a lot of broken people that have given up. And it's a lot of broken people that are getting into relationships, expecting their partner or their relationships to fix their brokenness. And like being like pseudo intelligent about like what they want, or how they, and it's not what they want, but being pseudo intelligent about their emotions and the reality of where they are emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and their views on relationship. Because it's still, at the end of the day, like I mean, from my own experiences, and then just in the ecosystem, a lot of people still do kind of have this idea that marriage is a solution. Marriage is difficult. Like marriage is fucking work. Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, they've been married for like a minute. Michelle Obama said, like, look, it was a good 5-10 years where I couldn't stand this nigga, but majority of it was great. But that's just marriage. Like if y'all been together for 20 years and you got 5 years where you couldn't stand this person, you're doing phenomenal. Like, and a lot of people are not willing to work through that. They have the mindset that just being in a relationship or being married is a solution and will fix things, but they're not willing to put in the work and I mean like legitimately. And this is one I'm gonna be honest, because I mean, fuck it, I'm gonna speak candidly. I have noticed one thing about women, not all women, of course, but this is one thing I have noticed about women is they some of them have this idea about themselves that they don't need fixing. Their partner does. Like the partner often needs to acquiesce to like them, where it's like, no, it's like you need to, for one, like be able to make yourself happy. You also have things that you need to work on. Like you also have work to do, and I also have work to do. This is a joint effort. It's not a one-sided thing. So we got to come together and build on top of that.
Do you suspect that that's a significant cause in this?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I said a lot,
Okay.
and I kind of jumped over the place a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just feel like it's more than these individual gender politic things. Like I think it's my suspicion is that. Oh, matter of fact, let me show y'all this video. Unless y'all have any other hot takes, because I found what this lady said very interesting. I'm not sure if it's true, but I just found what she said really really interesting. And this is tying multiple things together, but.
If you don't understand that, you don't understand modern male radicalization. You will never understand the gender wars until you realize they are actually class wars. If you don't understand that, you don't understand modern male radicalization. But for some reason, Americans don't see class. So every time a class-based issue comes up, we pretend it's something else. And the gender wars are a prime example. A lot of discourse in the gender wars is animosity from lower class men aimed at higher class women. And I'm not saying whether this is good or bad, justified or unjustified. I'm just saying that's the way it is. That's why a lot of it is centered around how horrible college is for modern women. That's why men like Andrew Tate craft their image around a lower class man's idea of what a higher class man looks like. Like it's Bugattis and cigars and women everywhere and like wearing suits to the club for some reason. Lower class men, many of whom did not go to college or maybe didn't even have the opportunity to go to college, look at upper class or higher class women and go, wait, that's not fair. They're benefiting from DEI. Then they see these same women bragging about getting these fake email jobs and they go, wait, she had it easy on the way up and now she gets it even easier. And in part because these men aren't necessarily familiar with desk jobs, and in part because sometimes it's true, they see these women going 5'3" in an attitude, making TikToks in the office, and they assume that's all these women do all day. And the resentment builds. But again, because Americans are unable to see class, they think that the most relevant difference between them and these women is their gender. They mistakenly think that all women have it this easy because the American mindset is that we've already conquered class. And because we assume we're in this post-class society, instead of hitting glass ceilings, we just end up walking into glass walls. Ultimately, though, the reason this is so hard to see is because these lower class men don't have a reason to notice higher class men. They aren't trying to date those men, and those men already aren't very visible on social media or on dating apps. No, instead, the main message that these men are de facto receiving from the upper class is, look at all of these beautiful women. They have life way easier than you, and they don't want you because you don't make enough money for them. They don't see that there's a whole class up there. It feels like women specifically are above them. And eventually that feels indistinguishable from oppression.
I thought that line of it feels like women specifically are above them economically. I found that very, very interesting. I'm curious what y'all think though.
I just kind of agree. Like, because we honestly have been so trained to not think about class on a large scale, and especially when it comes to like relationships and gender wars, because there's genuine hate for broke niggas. Like, I mean, it's in the music. If you're broke, you might as well forfeit your life. Like, that's how like the sentiment is. Like, broke niggas don't.
A lot of classist content,
right.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you might as well just lay over and die if you can't get no money. Like, because I want to protect her, I want to provide her, and that whole like thing as far as men, like it relates back to money and the economy. Niggas is everybody out here struggling, but for some reason, every guy has got to make 6 figures, 6+ figures. Because, but I'm not, that's just, I know it's like, but that's. What were you signing at? What were you signing at? Because like,
oh, you know what I was saying? It just felt like a talk. I don't know. I felt like you hit a talking point. It felt like you were going down. Man eats steak. Woman eat salad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it almost felt like you were going that direction a little bit.
Yeah,
I know you weren't, and I know you had context, but it just made me laugh.
And I don't mean to like go down that rabbit hole, but it comes from somewhere, and we don't have to go down that rabbit hole, but it does come from somewhere. And this is saying just but on the opposite end, it's like how she was saying that in terms of class, like there's what was women who are upper class women are kind of like struggling too. Like, yeah, like, because like there's a thing of like men feel intimidated or threatened or by them or by their success, or they can't measure up. So
that's it. And I feel like maybe I missed it a little bit, but that's where I kind of sit in this. If everybody at every level is struggling to find some sort of relationship, um, there has to be something there that's like a commonality. Now, I wonder if any of the previous studies that we're even like referencing did take all that into consideration. Because I know it would be hard to like truly get a real sample size of all these things. Or do we think that like lower class, I'm talking about like, people that live at or below the poverty line, are they thriving in relationships while people in the middle class are like struggling like hell? Like these are the lowest of the percentages of people who are in committed relationships versus people on the high end are like sound in their relationships outside of, the celebrity athlete. I just got to be single, whatever the case may be. But ultimately, I would want to see how those numbers look if we broke it down by class. I do think it may play a factor into it. I hate to like try to boil it down, but ultimately, it just sounds like everybody is kind of overthinking, and this information overload is killing everybody's ability to actually seek real and meaningful relationships. And so then you just kind of get yourself out of it, and you haven't practiced it for a while. I had a friend that he's attempting to get back into dating, but he doesn't even know how. Like it's been so long since he's physically done the act. Starting is just
daunting.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even know. I think I'm not even gonna lie. If I had to, as an adult, I've never truly dated as an adult, if that makes sense. At least I feel
of course. Like been out there in the streets trying to,
like
sell penis.
I have adult money. I have the ability to go to the bars and all these other things like that. I don't even know what that would look like if I was trying to do it in my life. So if I ever got back out there, would I be one of those people who's just opting out? Like,
probably, yeah. I think it's real easy to say, hey, nigga, just go to the bar. Stop being a fucking nerd on Tinder trying to swipe, you know what I mean? Just go out there, approach women, have some balls, you know what I mean? Approach some lady and say, hey, you look beautiful. Would you like to grab a drink? It's very easy to say that shit, but I think in practice, it's a lot harder to do than not. And it goes back to my question, do women want these niggas? And I think at the end of the day, unless we're talking about some Handmaid's Tale shit, to Josh's point, women do and should dictate this shit. So it's like you just got to some extent, you just have to compete. Like we can talk about issues in the structure of dating apps or discourse that makes it to where men are viewed in inhuman ways or through a patriarchal lens. I'm with questioning that, but I think some of you just got to be like, hey man, like women are the choosers. That's always been how it is. If you want to compete, you got to up that game. Like you got to hit the gym a little bit. You got to, get your skincare routine going. You got to get your fashion routine going. You got to learn a couple of jokes, learn how to do a honey jerk, chicken recipe. That's
learn how to not be a dick. Learn how to talk to people. Learn how to treat women like human 100%. Beings.
But again, before we flip it on the head of that, how many of them are even just actively participating in this from both sides, men and women? You're saying these things to say like, okay, yeah, men have to do X, Y, and Z, but if women have also just straight opted out, how are we? What's the point in doing those things? And then, of course, vice versa.
Yeah, that just ties to a point that I said before, which is people are opting out for a reason. Like they're not just magically opting out. They're opting out because they feel like the effort that goes into doing it isn't bearing fruit. For a lot of, not all, and this is totally anecdotal, so I'm not saying it. And low-key, this is going in the opposite of the point that I was trying to make, but a lot of women are going, the amount of effort that it takes for me to find a man that I'm interested in and then form a bond with him takes so much fucking time and so much effort that I'm not bothering with it. And so what I'm saying is part of that solution is guys competing at a slightly higher level that I think is relatively realistic. Like I think that the power that men have at an individual level to up their general attractiveness is more achievable than we sometimes think. Like and this is me kind of making an argument that I've made opposite in the past, but I don't think you have to go from making 35K a year to making 85K a year. There's a lot of gap that you can close by dressing different, smelling different, getting a decent haircut, having some cool, interesting stories and activities in your life. Like, I think there are a lot of avenues to pick that up. And I think that when men, I don't know, because I'm trying to not be anti-men, because I'm very pro guys in this argument. I'm trying to say these are difficult things to do, and it's not simple is what I'm saying. It's not simple, but it's doable is what I'm trying to get at. And so I'm like, I think the opting out can be combated if you go, the offer is better. I think that's what I'm saying. But I think can make the offer better.
This is what I would argue. I think they're opting out because they've conditioned themselves to believe that the other side is opted out, and opting out now kind of expands. Opting out from the perspective of they're not getting better, opting out from the perspective of they're not approaching, opting out from, the worthiness, all these things. They, on both sides, everybody's believed that everybody has opted out. And so then they themselves then opt out. When I hear my homegirl say, these dudes ain't nothing, it's nothing to them, they ain't shit. And then when I hear my homeboy say, these women ain't nothing, it's nothing to them, they ain't shit. Sometimes I can sit back and think to myself, what's crazy? If y'all two actually just talk to each other, y'all would actually connect and bond.
No, they're both the same brand of irritating, actually.
Y'all are the same person.
Y'all would trauma bond easy.
And not that y'all have like pie in the sky expectations, because I've seen your ex and I've seen your ex. And to be quite honest with you, y'all line up. But the thing is, you think that everybody's just opted out and everybody ain't shit. And so now we're to a place in space where you won't even find, because I agree with you. In theory, you can make yourself more attractive by going to the gym, getting more money, all that. But the dude that makes $35,000 is married and getting pussy. And the woman who doesn't have the BBL also is married and is getting pussy.
I don't like these arguments. Because these are two different things. Like, I don't like the way we decide when stats matter in these conversations. Like, we keep bringing up these like, hey, there's 100 million human being discrepancy here, but we've got one anecdotal example of, there are people in relationships, there are poor people in relationships. That to me is irrelevant, because we're talking about a pattern. This is like, oh, this many people died of COVID, but look how many people didn't. That's irrelevant. We're trying to talk about a specific pattern. So examples that fall outside of that, I don't even know why we're bringing that up.
Well, because in Eddie, like, your points are valid in terms of like, hey, how can men become more appealing or like be more competitive in the dating market? But because I just like we said, like, with classism, like, it's damn near a sin to be broke. But I think it is kind of like valid to say that, hey, no niggas, and this is no disrespect to nobody. I'm not trying to be like a classic dickhead here, but some bum ass niggas in the trailer park is doing just fine in the love arena, okay? But that's because
what's the point though?
Because it's not always, bro. Like, it doesn't even always have to be about like, dressing better, having more money. Because again, like the point is just that would help, but it's not always just about how you dress, how much money you have. Because some dudes just don't have style. Some dudes just don't give a damn about that. That's not who they are. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're not worthy of love. And I think me and Omar just kind of like bring up, different points to, there are a bunch of different avenues that can make a person competitive. I think mainly is just being a decent person and being able to speak and communicate.
I'm with that. That's on the list. That's not against me. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not saying anything to like directly disagree with you. But we're just trying to add like additional context and like layers to it.
I feel like Omar was saying something different. Like, once we start talking about the trailer park thing, I'm like, that's a different. We're looking for whataboutism, anecdotal examples, and we're talking about a pattern. So at a pattern level, at a macro level, how does the thing get solved? As a matter of fact, can we just take a reset? Because I feel like even myself, I keep going down this like, gender wars kind of, like, it's just very easy to slip back into that. Can we talk about what we think some positive, healthy solutions are without saying who's evil or who's bad, like what do we just think is some healthy solutions, even if it requires some accountability, but just without the finger pointing shit.
You know what's interesting? I think actually think some of these numbers might be in a reversal state with alcohol being on the decline. Like I think alcohol being on the decline helps bring those numbers out, because a lot of people get into relationships that they like. A lot of people find coping mechanisms to get them through situations because they feel like this is what's supposed to be done, right? Like grit your teeth type Barrett shit. So I've definitely talked to some people who have been like, yeah, I really didn't like that person. I was just always intoxicated with them. So that like having those people stop drinking exposes it, but I also think it'll ultimately be the thing that brings people together, because like now nobody has this mask on. Nobody's like having this drunken mask on. But ultimately, I think it boils down to like more third places being in existence, more opportunities for people to do like non-pressured networking, more places for people to just have like full-blown genuine conversations with people that understand like we're both competing. And I think that's probably what I was getting at more than anything. Understanding before I get into this room that like I am looking, and then also from the other perspective, like the understanding that I am looking too. I think there was this concept beforehand of like, we're looking. But then now we got into the stage of like we're not looking. So now we shift back into this stage of we're looking. And if you're looking, I'm looking. We can all just be equally looking, if that makes sense.
Couple of looky-loos, yeah.
I know it seems hard to believe, but like I truly think one of the biggest issues is that people just discount themselves from it. Like, ain't nobody in here looking for me. So what do I need to do? Why would I go and improve myself or put myself out there? Why does it matter? That's stupid though.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly with the spaces thing, which I'm like, I think the future, this is my prediction for 2026, because this has already been happening a ton. Like there's so many people entering this space. We're entering this space of events, creating events for friendship, for third spaces, for relationships. I think that's the future. Like, and I think that's going to go a super long way. And because one of the things that I think events do is it re-socializes people's nervous system to be able to deal with one another, including all of the kind of micro rejections that go, and measuring somebody's body language and knowing how to like, okay, cool, this person's maybe interested in talking, maybe not. Let me shift over here. It helps build that skill. And two, one of the things that I think so many of the conversations around this shit are lacking is people are not bonding over like shared interest and commonality. It's like if the only time that you're around women and talking to women is when you're trying to fuck, and same thing, if you're a woman and the only time you're around men is when they're trying to fuck or you're in that dating context, these are you're alien species now. And I feel like if you can bond over like, there's a book club that we both go to, there's a run club that we both go to, we're both into knitting, we're both at a cooking class, we both use the same gym is maybe not a good one, but maybe Pilates class or some shit like that. We're bonding over a shared interest. We both went out camping and I saw her at the same spot, same two different camping sites. And I asked some advice about how you get the pegs in when you're, doing the lines for the tent, whatever. I feel like the future is events, real world, third spaces, and shared interests. And that's going to make a massive, massive difference if it scales up.
I agree. We'll come out ultimately we'll have to come out of the recession. Like, even if it's due to like a major economic crisis that forces partnerships, which sounds bad, but
that sounds super bad.
All right, that does sound very alarming.
That sounds like slavery.
But does it sound realistic?
Say again.
Dystopian society that we're headed towards. I mean, hell, it could be. Shoot.
That's what I'm saying. Does it sound realistic?
Yeah.
To produce,
honestly,
to be a contributing member of society, you might have to be in a relationship.
I think the only way that happens, so which direction are we thinking? Are we thinking that because we're living under a right-wing white nationalist, fascistic government, that something happens that destabilizes women's rights, autonomy, and money to the point that they end up being forced by the Trump government economically to pair with men in the same way that was true in the past? Or are we saying that that same thing actually happens for men? Is that what is that? Would that? I guess that wouldn't make sense, right?
Well, no, I think the same thing will happen for men. Not necessarily that you lose autonomy.
That we get so poor that we would just be like, we need,
but both,
like, I need a woman to take care of me.
Both sides get so poor. If we're taking away entry level, if we're taking away some factory, like I don't know how sustainable it is for an economy to every 3 months or so, X corporation cuts thousands of jobs. I don't know how sustainable that is. So we might end up at a point where it's almost like, you know, instead of me trying to build something on my own, which people felt like was doable and probably was doable at a certain point of time. But like now I need to be in a relationship just for the fact of tomorrow I might get laid off and it might take me a year and a half to get another job. So now I need to find some sort of partnership so I don't have to go through that anymore.
So I can split this rent. Yeah.
I can honestly see Donald Trump like giving out benefits to like
married people.
100%.
Yeah, married people, like calling them
100%.
Trump ships.
Yeah.
You get the Trump ship card. You'll get an additional tax cut off, the tax write off. With the Trump card, you're in the game. Like it's gonna be the best thing you've ever had. It's gonna be the greatest relationship you've ever had. You're never gonna see a love like you've had. You're never gonna have a love like this before.
Mr. Trump, can I use the Trump ship card at the grocery store? Can I buy groceries for the family with it?
You're gonna be able to do all sorts of amazing things with the Trump ship card. All sorts of amazing things. You're never gonna have any problems. You're gonna have someone who will suck your dick, eat your coochie. You can grab them by the balls anytime you want to. Trump ship cards. I promise you.
Somebody said, "Wouldn't blood family be the answer to that?" I don't know if they're. This is the assumption that everybody has blood family, and this is also the assumption that they're okay with all the other things that happen when you like deal with your family as opposed to like a romantic partner. Sure, both situations can be, let's just say, equally abusive, but one may have like greater benefits that outweigh the other. You know, like people opt to live on their friend's couch as opposed to staying with their mama. So I can't say that the answer is always that, but we know what homosexuals are. And
hey, look, I had an experimental phase.
That's what I'm saying. Instead of living on my mama couch, I'd rather be laying some wood, you know?
Yeah. Put some timber flooring down. Have to do it sometimes, you know?
Yo.
It's got exceptional heat retention.
Oh no, that's a risky game right there, goddamn.
That's how people end up in long-term relationships. I'd rather I was a homosexual, and ultimately I ended up parlaying this into a relationship, whether it be through like we actually kind of grew to like each other, or I got her pregnant, or she kept threatening to put me out, or he kept threatening to put me. So I just decided to, you know, make this happen. And that was because I didn't want to end up back at my mama's house or my dad's house or my uncle or aunt's house or whatever the case may be. I just don't have that person. So slang some meat, gang. I don't know.
Slanging meat.
If that's the takeaway from this whole episode, slang meat.
Yep.
Yeah, look, look, when in doubt, sling some meat, you know what I'm saying? Throw it down, pick it back up. That's all that waving the red flag has to tell you.
What if you don't have
look, with that if you don't have meat to sling, you might need to purchase some meat. You might need to find the meat within yourself, honestly. You might have to get some vegan meat, some turkey bacon. I don't know. They do sell silicone meat if you don't have the meat to sling. And also, I had a woman tell me this one time. She said, and this was crazy because I nutted fast, and she said, that's why God gave you a mouth and two hands. And so that's a real life quote. She said that shit to me in bed. And she was right.
Hey.
It is why God did that. All praise be to the Most High.
Oh my
God. If you find yourself what's up, Josh?
I don't know why, but the audio just got hella loud on my end for some reason. I don't know if that just might have been from my soundboard or whatever, but yeah, my fault.
That's all right. But look, if you find a rapper who's been a little bit washed for the last like 5 years, coming to apologize for the shit that he's done for the last 10 years, you might be seeing a red flag. But you know what? At the same time, if you are arresting fucking journalists for reporting the news and doing their job in flagrant disregard for the First Amendment of the nation that you're supposedly running, you're definitely the one waving the red flag. There's been Waving the Red Flag podcast. We've been joined, of course, today by the illustrious Omizi. Thank you for coming through. Always appreciate it. Let's go. What would you like to shout? Where should people check you out? What do you got going on? What do you want to leave people with?
Get involved, but know what you're, risking. I hate doing these vague messages at the end of some of these live streams, but I kind of do. Get involved. I encourage everybody to get involved, full stop, but know what you're risking and be calculated. You are better alive and, doing your work as opposed to dead.
Big facts. Trout want to clues bombs
Great.
for Omar Omizi.
Done.
What?
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining the live stream. We will see you next week. Thank you, everybody, for supporting and for joining us and for roasting us sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so being a dickhead, Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no, but be polite. We will ban you. We'll ban you. You know what I'm saying? It's all fun and games till it's not.
See one of you motherfuckers. Yeah. All right. Be careful now.